Can you believe that there is a place in the world where heavy stones seem to move on their own? No human footprints, no vehicle tracks, no ropes, no one pushing them, and yet these massive rocks somehow travel from one place to another, leaving long trails behind them on the ground. Some people called it the work of ghosts. Others believed the land was under the control of some mysterious force. And for many, it became one of those strange mysteries of the world that might never be fully understood. But the real question is, did these stones truly move by themselves, or was there a hidden truth behind this mystery, one that took science decades to understand? Welcome to MythXray.
In America's famous Death Valley, there is a place called Racetrack Playa. It is a vast, dry, silent, and almost perfectly flat desert plain. As far as the eye can see, there is only stillness, hard ground, and scattered rocks. But these very stones turned this place into one of the strangest mysteries in the world. People noticed that behind some of the rocks lying on the ground, there were long marks, as if someone had dragged them across the surface from one place to another. This was no ordinary thing, because some of these rocks were so heavy that even an average man could not move them easily. Some of them were said to weigh as much as 30 kilograms. So the question was, how could such heavy stones slide across such flat ground on their own? And if someone had moved them, then where were the footprints?
The trails were there, but there was no sign of any human involvement. And that is where the legends began. Some said spirits lived there. Some claimed the valley was cursed, and others started calling it a supernatural phenomenon. But on MythXray, we do not just repeat mysteries, we X-ray them. For many years, scientists tried to solve this mystery, but the problem was simple. No one had ever actually seen the stones moving with their own eyes. People only saw the trails they left behind. The movement itself always remained unseen, and because of that, the mystery only grew deeper. Then, an important step was taken to solve it. Richard Norris, associated with the University of California, and his team began seriously studying this phenomenon. In 2001, Richard Norris placed several stones in Death Valley and began monitoring them from a distance using high-resolution cameras. His goal was not just to make guesses, he wanted to record the actual movement. And what happened next was surprising. The stones placed there in 2001 remained almost exactly where they were for the next 12 years. No clear movement was recorded. But then, in 2013, it was suddenly discovered that their positions had changed and trails had appeared behind them. That meant the mystery was real. The stones had actually moved. Now the question was, how? What Richard Norris and his team discovered was extremely fascinating. They revealed that there was no magic behind it, no paranormal force. Instead, it was caused by a very rare combination of natural conditions. Here is what happened. During winter, a very thin layer of rainwater or standing water would sometimes collect on the playa. At night, because of the intense cold, a very thin sheet of ice would form on top of that water. This ice was not thick. It was a delicate glass-like layer floating on the surface. Then, when the sun rose in the morning, the ice would begin to crack and break into large, thin, floating panels. After that, when a light breeze blew across the plain, those floating sheets of ice would slowly move, and as they moved, they would gently push the stones in their path. So in reality, the rocks were not moving by themselves. The real force behind their movement was a special combination of water, thin ice, and light wind. That is exactly why this phenomenon was so rare, because wind alone was not enough. Wet mud alone was not enough, and ice alone was not enough. All of these conditions had to exist together at the right time in the right way. When that happened, the stones would slowly slide across the surface, and later, when the water dried up, only the trails remained on the ground. Those same trails kept people confused and amazed for decades.
So the truth is, the moving stones of Death Valley really did move, but not because of any supernatural force. They moved because of a very rare natural process. And perhaps that is what makes mysteries so fascinating. When the truth is hidden, people create stories of their own. But when the veil is finally lifted, the truth often turns out to be even more astonishing than the myth. And that is what MythXray does. We X-ray the mystery and reveal the truth behind it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to MythXray, because here we do not just tell mysteries, we uncover the truth hidden behind them.